Hey everyone, welcome back. In this video, I am going to walk you through how to safely modify AWS resources already managed by Terraform. Most engineers get this wrong by blindly running apply, leading to accidental resource replacement or production downtime. This took me many hours of debugging to master, and I'm going to save you all of that frustration. Today, we are moving beyond basic deployments. We are looking at the specific high-stakes process of updating live infrastructure that is already under Terraform's control. We have a packed agenda. We will start by inspecting the current resource state. Next, we will learn to read the Terraform plan to spot destructive changes before they happen. Then, we will cover how to manage resource replacement, how to use target-specific updates for complex environments, and finally, how to validate your infrastructure with a state refresh. Watch the full video without skipping any content to understand it better. Before we get into the topic, a small request to you. I have already uploaded many technical videos on different technologies and tools. We share more knowledgeable content every day. So if you are interested in learning and want to improve your skills, make sure you have subscribed to our channel and joined our WhatsApp community. The join link is available in the description or scan the QR code shown on the screen. Let us get started. To follow along, you need a few things. First, the Terraform command line tool. Terraform is an infrastructure as code tool that lets you define cloud resources in human-readable files. Check your version by running Terraform version in your terminal. You also need the AWS command line interface configured with permissions that allow you to modify the specific resources you are testing. Think of this as your digital identity on AWS. Finally, ensure you have an existing project directory containing a state file, as that is how Terraform tracks what is currently deployed. If you have not set up your AWS credentials yet, run AWS configure and verify your access by listing your identity with the AWS ST's get caller identity command. Before you change anything, you must know exactly what Terraform thinks is already there. We use the Terraform state show command for this. This command pulls the current configuration details directly from your state file. It shows you the live attributes of the resource, such as its instance type, security groups, and public IP address. This is critical because your local configuration files might have drifted from what is actually running in AWS. If you see attributes here that do not match your expectations, you know you have an out-of-sync environment that needs to be addressed before you attempt any modifications. This is the output you should see. It lists every attribute Terraform is tracking. Notice the instance type and the AMI ID. If you plan to change the instance type in your configuration file, you can now compare the live value here with your desired new value. If you do not see your resource in this list, it means Terraform is not managing it, and you might need to use the Terraform import command first. Always check this output to confirm you are targeting the right resource before proceeding to the plan phase. Never run an apply without a plan. Here, we run Terraform plan with the -out flag to save the output to a specific file. This is safer than just letting the plan scroll by in your terminal. It creates a snapshot of the proposed changes that Terraform guarantees will be executed when you eventually run the apply command. By saving it, you ensure that you are applying exactly what you reviewed, preventing any race conditions where someone else might change the state in the background while you are busy reading the output. Look at the symbols in the output. The tilde symbol indicates an in-place update. This is usually safe. However, if you see a dash followed by a plus symbol, that means Terraform plans to destroy the resource and recreate it. This is a massive warning sign. If you see a replacement, stop immediately and investigate why. For example, changing a database identifier often forces a replacement. If you see a replacement, you must verify if you have backups or if this will cause downtime for your application users. If a resource is too important to delete, use the lifecycle block in your Terraform configuration. By setting Prevent Destroy to True, you add a safety guardrail. If someone tries to run a change that would delete this specific resource, Terraform will throw an error and abort the operation. This is a best practice for databases. S3 buckets containing user data or any resource that would be catastrophic to lose. It forces you to manually remove the safety flag before any destructive action can occur, ensuring you are fully aware of the risk. This is the error you will see if you try to destroy a protected resource. It is exactly what you want to see. It stops the automated process cold. Instead of losing data, you are now forced to examine the configuration. If you truly need to delete the resource, you must comment out the lifecycle block, run a plan, verify the destruction, and only then proceed. This serves as a vital human in the loop mechanism for your infrastructure. Sometimes your infrastructure state is massive and you only want to update one specific resource. You can use the -target flag. This tells Terraform to only calculate the plan and apply changes for that specific resource and its dependencies. Use this sparingly. It is excellent for recovering a single failed resource without affecting the rest of your production environment, but it can lead to state divergence if overused. Always ensure you follow up with a full Terraform plan to make sure your targeted change did not create hidden dependencies that were missed. The refresh command reconciles your state file with the real-world resources in AWS. Over time, external factors like manual console changes or AWS automated updates can cause your state file to become stale. Running a refresh ensures that Terraform is making decisions based on the most accurate data possible. This is the final step before you conclude that your infrastructure is truly in the state you intended. If the refresh shows changes you did not initiate, it is time to perform a code cleanup. Things will go wrong. First, state lock errors happen if Terraform crashes mid-run. You can use force unlock to clear the lock, but only do this if you're absolutely sure no other pipeline is running. Second, resource drift occurs when someone modifies AWS resources manually. The fix is to update your Terraform code to match the manual changes or revert the manual changes to match your code. Third, permission denied errors usually mean your IAM role lacks the specific action needed, like XC2 modify instance attribute. Always verify your IAM policies if you get an access denied error during a plan. When you move to production, the stakes change. You should never run Terraform commands from your laptop. Instead, move your execution to a controlled CI or CD pipeline. This provides an audit trail for every change. Additionally, store your state file in a remote backend like S3 and back it with a DynamoDB table for state locking. This prevents two developers from applying changes at the same time, which is the most common cause of state corruption in professional environments. At scale, consider using workspaces to isolate different environments like development, staging, and production. Think about this real-world scenario. An online healthcare platform serving millions of patient records once faced a near disaster during a routine infrastructure cleanup. A junior engineer accidentally included an S3 bucket in a delete operation. Because they had the Prevent Destroy lifecycle flag enabled, Terraform blocked the command, effectively saving 4 terabytes of critical patient data from being wiped instantly. The team was alerted, the code was fixed, and the production environment remained stable throughout the ordeal. That is the power of proactive safety settings in your infrastructure code. You now know how to inspect your current state to avoid blind changes. Always save your plans to a file so you can audit them before applying. Protect your critical assets using lifecycle blocks to prevent accidental deletion. Targeted updates are a great tool for isolation, but should be used sparingly to avoid state drift. Finally, keep your state accurate with regular refreshes. Following these 5 steps will significantly reduce your chances of causing a production incident while managing cloud infrastructure. I believe this video will definitely be a useful video. If you liked the video, please do like and hype the video. Also share it with your friends and groups. It may be useful to somebody else. If you have any doubts or any requests, please let me know in the comments. Make sure you have subscribed to stay updated for our regular videos. Join our WhatsApp community using the link in the description because we share more knowledgeable content every day. Thank you for watching. See you soon in the next video.